Hello and welcome back to Walk the Cinema podcast. Today we are starting our Fellini showcase. This will be the first of 4 episodes that we are going to be doing focusing on Fellini's films. And we're going to start off today with Strada.
So we just finished the Oscar coverage. That felt like a long time.
It did.
Yeah, and so we decided to just take a whole month with Federico Fellini's films.
Yeah, this is not the first Fellini movie that we've watched. We've been kind of watching his films in chronological order. So we started with his first film where he co-directed with Variety Lights.
Yeah.
And we've seen The White Sheik and
Il Bidone. Yeah, but we decided to start with this one because I think it's pretty established as his first big success, which I don't even agree with. I think Il Bidone is already a big success, but
I think it's not as widely known in the community as Strada.
This one, even though it was, especially in Italy when it came out, it was a little divided, it was still very financially successful. And internationally, it was very well received. And it still is. So, yeah, it's a great way to start on Fellini.
Yes, and I feel like we can't talk about Fellini without talking about his muse, his wife, the star of this movie, Giulietta Messina.
And she is the star of the movie. I feel like she's more of the star of the movie than he is.
You mean Anthony Quinn? Or
no, I mean Fellini. Yeah. I think this is her movie. She's so good. It's impossible to have a movie with her and her not be the focus. She was in his earlier movies, but not as the star.
Yeah, this was the first time that she was the main character, I think. Because even in Variety Lights, she does play a big part, but she's not the focus of the film.
No.
You're not going through her journey. Whereas in this, you kind of are.
Yeah, this is their first collaboration where she's the star.
And this was a kind of, it had American stars as well.
Yeah, Anthony Quinn was relatively big at the time, and this is early 50s.
And Richard Basehart also played a not a main part, but definitely
very important.
A very important part.
Yeah, he's the one that kind of tests the main character's relationship, I suppose. But honestly, this is Messina's movie, and she's so good. And people compare her, especially in this particular movie, to they've called her a female Charlie Chaplin. But she's so uniquely herself that I don't think comparisons are fair.
I agree.
I get it. I get where it comes from, but I think she's herself in it, and she's very good at it. And she doesn't need to be compared with anyone else to show how great she is. And this movie, I feel is not very deviating from what Fellini had done before. Thematically and just structurally.
Yeah.
But this one has such good performances. Because Anthony Quinn's also really good. He really has the asshole vibe.
Yeah, he's the perfect Zappino. And I think that my pronunciation of the character names are a little
We're not
butchered.
Italian, so. But
Zappino is definitely a very hard character, I think, to focus on, And it's meant to be,
He's cold and he buys his wife's.
Yeah.
That's what. Now it's weird. I guess at the time it's more topical because it was something that was happening in post-war Italy.
Yeah.
Where families didn't have money and
they would just kind of accept what they could get. So
he buys his wife to take advantage of the people that don't have anything. And kind of just forces her to be his worker, I guess, which I guess sucks. And he's brutal with her. He whips her for not getting stuff right the first try.
Yeah, and he's a very cold... Yeah, like you said, he's a very cold character. And he doesn't express his emotions very well, even when you kind of know that he, in his own way, cares for Messina's character.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't show it in a way that is acceptable, you know?
Right. We don't even know that he cares for her until he might lose her. That's when he kind of shows it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they imply that it's not the first time he's just carried a woman around as his prop.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if this is kind of like a cycle for him, or if she was the first one that he actually kind of cared about. You know what I mean? Because her sister, Gelsomina's sister, Rosa, was the one that he had before her, but she died.
Did she die? She
did die.
Okay, that's how it starts.
That's how it starts. Is her sister died, and she's being bought in as a replacement, basically.
It starts. The shot that starts it is the main character in the beach. Mm-hmm. Then it also ends with the main man character in the beach.
Yeah, it's definitely it's one of the things that I think Fellini does really well is his imagery, kind of like with that, because in an earlier film that he did, The White Sheik, you kind of have the characters in that movie, the two characters start with each other, and then they both kind of go on a different journey to find themselves, kind of, but then they come back together at the end. It's kind of like a parallel type thing in that movie too. So I do think that this movie is a showcase of his earlier stuff, while also being like just a really good film.
It also has the component of entertainment industry and just artistic industry that The White Sheik has, because The White Sheik is, you know, partly about an actor, and Variety Lights is about like acts.
Yeah.
And these future movies are also going to be about other entertainment factors, but this is about the moving circus, or the moving entertainers.
Mm-hmm. The ones that travel.
Yeah, and this is always kind of a focus of his. I know he loves clowns and he loves the circus and acts like that. So it makes sense, but it's also like really cool to see the portrayal of it in this timeline, right? Because I don't know what traveling as an artist meant in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And this is really cool to see. It's very hard for them, clearly. And they're living not very comfortably. They're always trying to find a place to sleep. And there's one night where the Massima character just sleeps on the street because he takes another woman with him on his bike shack.
Yeah. And he's such a hard character to like, and that was done on purpose. And I can kind of see, I don't know exactly if this was his intention. I know he intended to make a character that was hard to like, but I kind of wonder if it's kind of a take on toxic masculinity a little bit. Because, you know, you see that his actions lead to stuff that he really doesn't want to happen. For example, he's so angry at the fool that he ends up accidentally killing him. Yeah. He didn't intend for that to happen, but because he's so filled with rage and anger, and he doesn't know how to express those feelings.
Yeah, he's very masculine in the way that you portray masculinity at this time, where it's very like...
He's a strong man.
Strong, giant. His act is being strong, and his attitude is like, I'll beat you up. Like, you're done
and
talking to me.
You see those types of characteristics getting him in trouble. Mm-hmm. He kills a man.
Right.
And then he ends up, as a result of that, leaving the woman that he has with him, that he took from her house.
That he started to like.
Because
we do see him kind of checking in on her.
Yeah, he does check in on her, but he's not good at it. So he's like, I can't just carry her around. She's dead weight at this point. So he leaves her.
Yeah, and even after he leaves her, he kind of tries to find where she has been, make sure she's all right.
Yeah.
Ask people if they've seen a weird-looking girl around.
Yeah, very eccentric. Someone with a trumpet. And
yeah, they really nailed the look, though. Which is, we read, because we got the Criterion release, and it comes with all these beautiful books.
Yeah, and essays that are really... They're very interesting to read.
Yeah, we read that Fellini really, really wanted that look, and he kind of messed her hair up. Mm-hmm. He put glue on it or something. So
to get her to look a certain way.
It worked great. she's funny just standing there. The faces she makes, because this movie's also really funny when she's just like kind of lost because she is like not very knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a country girl that's never done anything. So when she's in the cities and stuff, she's kind of confused, and she's also scared that Zappano could just do whatever he wants to her and not allow her to do. Like when the fool wants her to play the trumpet for her, she's scared that Zappano wouldn't allow her, even though it's so insignificant.
Yeah, but she knows that he's a very aggressive type person.
And she's scared because she has nowhere else to go. She doesn't know anything besides him taking her places.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that she does have this certain innocence about her, which I guess my only thing that I could possibly criticize this for is maybe I could see her be like, because Messina was in her 30s at this point when she played Jessamina, and I think that the character reads way younger than that.
It does. I mean, I don't know if they mention it, but I would assume like early 20s. That's
what I would assume too, and I think that would be my only gripe with it, is that I think that she maybe might be a little too old, but she's such a perfect person for the character. It doesn't take away from it.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm not gonna complain about anything with her. She's always great. She always knows how to play certain characters.
Yeah.
Because she's so funny in this. And then we're gonna talk about Knights of Cabiria like 2 episodes from now.
I think it's the next episode.
Okay, and like that's a totally different character that she's also really funny in, which is anything but foolish in that.
Yes.
So it's a totally different character. She plays it differently, but she nails it. She was a star, honestly.
I agree. And I mean, this movie is just so iconic. It won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Picture.
It was the first one.
Yes, the very first one. So it always has that for it. But
and
also,
it would have won it all over again if it came out today. I mean,
yeah. But it also got at least nominated for Best Writing and Best Original Screenplay. Or Best Writing, Best Original Screenplay. That was the title of it back then in the 50s. It didn't win, but it did get nominated.
Well, history doesn't change, does it?
No.
To this day, I mean, foreign films do get nominated. We just talked about all the stuff from the Oscars, and we had 2 foreign films being nominated for different screenplay categories, and just, it's different.
Yeah.
I feel like people do ignore the foreign screenplays more than...
Well, the thing about this one is, since it was kind of co-opted between like American production and Italian production, it was shot like a spaghetti western where the actors were speaking in their own language and then it was dubbed depending on...
This is before the spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this happened a lot. The Italian film industry was very big. And he made movies for international audiences the same way that a lot of people grew up on like Hong Kong kung fu movies that were dubbed.
Yeah.
Like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, like those were all dubbed the same way, and that doesn't really happen anymore, which is kind of a shame and kind of like good, because there were like high quality productions. There's really fun movies that are great to watch. But now when we think of foreign movie, we think more of a hard house approach.
That's true. But there's a lot of directors that consider this one of their favorite movies, like Akira Kurosawa and Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
like,
we saw
really
the Scorsese
inspiration from this.
I also feel like we already covered The Holy Mountain by Jodorowsky, and I feel like this is clearly very influential to him. Again, he's still alive. He can still reply to us. I requested this in the Holy Mountain episode.
Yeah, we keep coming back to that movie.
Because that movie's so unique and just rewatchable, and it embeds itself in you and makes you just anything you see, you're like, oh, that could be in the Holy Mountain. Like, that's why this person did that. Because La Strada is kind of a road trip movie.
I guess in a way, it is called The Road.
Yeah, they go from place... Yeah, La Strada means the road in Italian. They go from place to place. But the roads themselves are, like, always very empty. The scenery around it is just a couple trees and the sky. There's no like, identifiable features most of the time. And it kind of portrays the emptiness of their travel. Like, they're not traveling because they're on a road trip or they're just moving from here to there to try to make a living.
Yeah.
And there's no joy in it for them.
That's true. It is very methodical in how they have to go from place to place because, you know, you can only stick around for so long before everyone's seen your act.
I mean, you break a chain with your chest. I wouldn't consider that very entertaining.
Yeah.
Maybe if you see it live for the first time, you never had internet, right? It's like, oh, damn, that's a strong dude. He's what, 110 pounds? He's huge.
Yeah, but this is so... I can definitely see how this is an influential film, and I feel like if I still worked on film, if I still did stuff with it, I could see myself taking inspiration from this movie, especially the character of Zappano. I think he's such a flawed character in every sense of the word, but you kind of root for him a little bit, you know, even though you know he's terrible.
That's a feature that is presented nowadays in a lot of movies that a lot of people consider like dude bro or like film bro movies, like American Psycho, Joker, Fight Club, right? Mm-hmm. Where the main character is kind of an asshole and they're bad, but a lot of people see themselves in them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it just goes to show it's not a new thing that exists. It's always kind of a feat to pull off a terrible person that you kind of feel sorry for at points.
Yeah, but you feel more sorry for Jesselmina because like she kind of is resigned to the fact that she's going to be with this man forever, because if she doesn't stick with him, who's going to?
Right.
You know, she feels like that is her purpose. That's her life purpose, is to be with this man.
But she also mentioned that she has nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
She did say that, I think, in those words. So,
and
they're kind of just stuck with each other.
And I feel like at the point that he even offers to bring her back home, she feels so tainted by what she's seen, which was the fool dying, that she can't go back home, you know? Right. It's never going to be the same. She can't go to home to her siblings and her mother because the world has now...
Yeah, she doesn't want to go home. She says that she doesn't feel like... She doesn't miss home anymore.
Yeah, home was with him, and he kind of took that kind of
this
fragile world that they had built and crushed it completely.
Yeah, it's kind of a Bonnie and Clyde situation. Because
of his anger and his unwillingness to compromise or be vulnerable in any type of way.
It's very Bonnie and Clyde, though. He doesn't really care for her in the beginning, and then he kind of brings her down. Mm-hmm. And then they end up both being ruined by the end. Yeah. And kind of same thing happens here, where he doesn't really care.
Yeah. But I do think it's telling that at least we don't see him... Well, we kind of do see him with another woman.
Yeah, we see him with another woman where he's at a restaurant where he spends almost half of what he paid for his wife.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about at the end when he left her. Like, there's still someone that I guess could be his assistant, or she could just be a part of the circus. It's kind of... To me, it was a little unclear. I don't know. But... You don't know if he has, like, continued the cycle of taking in young women and changing them or corrupting them in some type of way. We don't know, but he does feel remorse, because at the end he's on a beach crying.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Have we?
Yeah. There's that shot of when they're both still together towards the end when he went into the water. He, like, pulled up his pants and like got his legs wet, and I could just imagine how cold that felt. And I feel like if everyone's gonna end up there one day, just cold in the ocean water.
Thinking about life. Thinking about where you go from here.
Yeah, my tears look small next to the ocean. That's why I like to cry at the beach.
Oh gosh. But I just think overall this has been probably my favorite Fellini. I have not seen anything past Nights of Cabiria.
Yeah, you're going in a row.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to see some of these in theaters. Not when they came out.
Obviously.
But when it was the 100th anniversary of Fellini.
His birth date.
Well, if he was alive,
Yeah.
he would have turned 100. It was a couple years ago. I did not watch this one in the big screen, though. But this was my first Fellini movie when I did start watching his movies. And I think it is probably the best place to start, unless you're going to go through literally everything. If you're just going to go through stages, I think this is it.
Yeah, probably if you have no interest in watching his earlier works, I will say if you do have interest, I would watch those first, because it does kind of like, I think if you watched this first, you'd probably have high expectations for his earlier stuff, and they're just not there. Not that they're bad, they're just not.
I disagree. I think they're all good.
I think they're good, but they're not anything like this.
Well, I think they have elements of this. I think all of them combined in experience for him to make this. I don't think here he did anything that he's never done before. He just combined things he's done before into this movie, and it came out just right.
I mean, I guess, but I'd still say that, like, especially The White Sheik is a little pulpy, you know?
Yeah, The White Sheik's probably my least favorite, but if you're gonna skip one, The Variety of Lights probably gives you the wrong idea, because it really wasn't directed by him. It just gets a credit as a thank you.
And to kind of establish himself in the Italian filmmaking
to
scene.
kickstart him, but
yeah,
it's really not him. It's good though. I would watch all of them all over again, but if you're, I mean, not everyone has time for 26 movies, so I would just start here and then skip a couple and continue. Because he worked until the 90s. I don't think I'd go that far. I haven't really seen those yet, which I will by maybe the end of the year if we keep on this track.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like there's 4 essential movies that we're going to be covering, and then there's other really good ones sprinkled around them.
Right. So I guess to kind of give you an idea of how much we liked this film, why don't we go ahead and rate it?
Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I also gave it a 9 out of 10. It's my highest rated one that I've given him so far. And I don't know if any of the other ones that I haven't seen are going to top this, but this was definitely...
I'm certain, knowing you, that La Dolce Vita is going to be your favorite. But watch me be wrong, I guess.
We'll see. We'll see. But I think that's all for this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. If we're going to be talking about Fellini for the next couple episodes, so hopefully
the whole month of April.
So hopefully this won't get too tedious for anybody, but
well, if it gets tedious, there's 80 other episodes that are not about Fellini. We even have other Italian directors. So we have Cinema Paradiso, we have Bicycle Thieves, maybe some I'm forgetting. Lucas. That's in Italy.
But anyway, we'll see you guys next time.